Hi everyone, it's Ed from Runnable, and this is my race review of the Metaspeed Ray Tokyo. So in this review, I'll be letting you know what it felt like to race in this super shoe over 5k in my local parkrun at Oak Hill Park. And by the end of this review, you should have some idea of whether this shoe is good for 5Ks. I'll give you some lowdown on some key stats around the shoe, some other key categories, and also what this shoe I think is best for, and it might not necessarily be a 5K. This shoe is starting to really confuse me, as you'll see in this review. Anyway, without further ado, watch some of the event footage. There's not a lot there today, I'm afraid. And then stand by for the full review of the Metaspeed Ray Tokyo. See you later. Love you all. Bye-bye. Hi everyone, it's Ed from Runnable. I'm at Oak Hill Park again and about to do the park run here. I'm not feeling the best. I've not been feeling good all week. I feel like I've got a little bit of a cold. I don't know if you know what I mean. A cold that's not coming out. It's just, you know, I'm not getting a runny nose or particularly bad runny nose, but my chest feels a bit ecky, if that's a word, and I can't breathe. I don't feel like I'm getting the most out of my breathing at the moment, so not expecting loads, and it's a horrible day here in North London, but I am going to get them nice and messed up. I'm already a bit messed up. My Ray Tokyos, Metaspeed Ray Tokyos. I haven't really run much of a 5k in these shoes. I'm trying to think if I ever run hard in a 5k. I've done a 10k. I did the what was it? I did the Asics London Wembley race. This one though, I've never run this Parkrun, I don't think, in them. Well, I might be wrong, but I have to check. But probably not seriously anyway. I can't remember if I did. So it'll be interesting to see how I get on with these over 5k. I think they could be a good 5k shoe. Just don't feel like I'm going to do them particularly justice today. But I'll give them my best shot as always, and let's see how I get on. So I'll give you good feedback. I'll give you all the feedback at the end. Let you know how these Metaspeed Ray Tokyos felt over that 5k distance. I'll see you later. Love you all. Bye bye. Right, all done. Yeah, that didn't feel good. I wasn't wrong in my summary that I'm not feeling that well at the moment. That felt tough. Didn't feel great at all. Got the job done. I think it's hard for me to know. I think I've probably got about 1750, which is way slower than last week. So yeah, that's not ideal. The race, how did I feel? So I feel like I didn't do them justice, to be honest, but that said, I do feel like they're maybe not the best 5k shoe. They are quite soft and they feel amazing to run in, as in like you just feel like you're running on pillows, and they feel really nice and bouncy, but I just don't feel like I'm getting that aggressive pop off the plate with this shoe, like I did last week with the Sky Tokyo. I felt like that was more geared to going hard and you know, getting that real nice snapback from the plate. This, I feel like I feel that less. I do feel the plate, but I feel like it's an even thinner more flexible plate, and maybe a bit too flexible with the soft foam as well. And you know, you do feel like your foot sinking into the foam a little bit as well. So all in all, I feel like they would suit better that kind of half marathon, maybe marathon if you can cope with how narrow they are, distance. I think they're not what I would class as an out and out speedster of a shoe. I probably do need to take them on a really fast course just to prove that out, but and not Oak Hill, which isn't particularly fast. But I just felt today, although they felt nice and really nice and bouncy, I didn't feel like I was getting that throw forward, that real kind of aggressive ride that I did last week with the Sky Tokyos. So I think that was kind of my summary. All in all though, I loved it. You know, I didn't feel like I wanted to do it today, but I made the effort to get out of bed and do it. I'm happy I've done that. I do need to rest this weekend though, because I'm not feeling great. I'm ready for next weekend, which is the Masters race in Battersea Park. I'm gonna have to do a hell of a lot better than I did today. That's for sure. If I'm gonna get any kind of placing there. So, but we'll see how that goes. But anyway, that's all for me for now. Oak Hill Park, great park run, really well organised, lovely marshals. So come and do it, come and see me there, and it'd be great to see some of you there and have a good chat. Anyway, I'll see you later. Bye bye. In terms of stack height, you've got 40mm in the heel, and you've got your traditional 6mm drop with Asics shoes, Asics Super shoes, that gives you 34 in the forefoot. So those of you like me who land around about here, you get this wedge of foam and this FF Leap, this aliphatic TPU, really soft bouncy foam right under your forefoot as you land. You get a really nice bounce. But we'll talk a little bit more about that when we talk about the midsole. But the key points here is it's 6mm drop. You've got plenty of cushion throughout the shoe. So the upper is so lightweight. It's a lovely upper actually. You can see my fingers through it, you know. It's paper thin, but it does the job. It wraps lovely around your foot, molds to the shape of your foot. So on the surface of it, it looks a really narrow forefoot area for your foot. Well, for me, it fit really well, mainly because this material moves a little bit to my foot shape. You do feel like you're hanging over the sides a little bit because there isn't much sole flare going on here. But that said, I had no issues with the upper whatsoever. You've got these amazing laces. You've got very lightweight padding around the collar and the heel counter. You've got a semi-rigid heel counter, but it does enough to keep you nice and locked in. These really nice laces. The only thing that I didn't like about the upper is the tongue. It's kind of flimsy. It's hard to get in place. It's not really long enough, just about long enough. And when you cinch the laces down, there's a possibility of lace bite because it is so thin. But they've obviously done that to save weight. It's not the end of the world, but all in all, I really love this upper and I would give it a 5 out of 5. In terms of outsole, quite minimal, but then again, so's the Sky. So it's your typical Asics kind of outsole, really grippy, really nice. It's very similar to the Sky if you look at it, but you can see already the Sky is wider across the forefoot and in general in the shoe. So you don't get much of a landing area here. So those with stability needs, you might have an issue there. Those of you as well that land around this forefoot area, if you pronate a bit maybe, you're going to be landing on this exposed foam, and that's going to wear away pretty quick. So the upper itself though is grips really well. So if I had to score it, I'd probably give it a 4. I think it's not quite as good as the light traction or Continental rubber in the Adidas. Not quite as good as most of the Puma grip in most of their shoes, but it's kind of tier 2, but it's pretty good. I'm also marking it down half a mark extra because of how much exposed foam there is there. In terms of midsole, this FF Leap foam, this aliphatic TPU, lovely and bouncy. You can see it's got an early stage rocker, this one, earlier than you have with the Sky. Starts a lot earlier on. I quite like that actually. I like when I land, I like to feel that curvature and it roll me forward. The problem with this shoe though, unlike the Sky, is the plate is a half plate. It's a bit more of a flexible plate than you have with the Sky, and also it's at slightly lower down. So you sink a little bit more in this soft FF Leap foam. Remember with the Sky, you've got the FF Turbo Plus at the top, and then below that you've got the plate and the Leap foam. So you have a firmer element at the top of the shoe, a firmer foam at the top of the shoe, that FF Turbo Plus Puma foam. And then you've got the plate and the softer Leap. Well, with this shoe, you've got in its entirety, you've got Leap foam, which is softer by nature, and you've got a lower configuration of the plate. Well, you can't see it, you can kind of feel it because it's so soft, which means, as I said, when you land, if you land at force, if you're really going for it like I was in a 5K, you compress the foam quite a lot in this shoe and you get a decompression, but it's not as quick a decompression as you get with the Sky Tokyo, which means there is a little bit of sinkage going on, and the energy return, you don't get that energy back quite as quick. It kind of compensates for that with the design, you know, this aggressive rocker, early stage rocker, which means that even though you're sinking, you're still rolling at the same time. I just find that the Sky is more aggressive in nature. The plate, I get much more of a twang and a snap back in this plate than I do with the Ray Tokyo. I don't really notice the plate as much in this shoe, if I'm being honest. I can feel it there because of this soft foam, but I don't feel it assisting me anywhere near as much as I do in the Sky. It's a little bit too soft for my liking. I like it a little bit firmer. Maybe they could have done that with a firmer plate or more rigid plate, but either way, I felt like I lost a little bit of energy during that 5K race that I did at the weekend, and I think that's mainly to do with how soft this foam is. So that's the midsole. Now let's talk about stability as a category. So this is not a stable shoe. It's so thin. The foam is so soft. You've only got a half plate. It's really not stable at all. You've got some structure, a little bit of structure in the upper at the back here, but nothing else, no sidewalls or anything. So if you've got stability needs, stay away from the shoe. If you're a heel striker and got stability needs, why are you even watching this video? Turn it off now. But if you're a forefoot striker, then I think this could be a viable shoe for you. If you're one of these freaks of natures who can run a whole marathon up here, then this could even be a marathon shoe for you. Just bear in mind that as you start to lose form, as you get a bit more ragged during the race, this softness of this foam, the thinness of this landing pad, and the general unstructured of this upper means that it could be a potential nightmare for you if you're not landing well in this shoe. That's stability. Durability. So stability, I'm going to give it 2.5 out of 5. Durability, I'm going to give it something similar. It's already wearing away here. I'm not liking that at all. I don't think this is going to be durable. I think this FF Leap is a great foam, really lovely, but I think the type of FF Leap they've used here may not be the most durable. Certainly where you've not got rubber coverage, the outsole, you're going to get some wear, as I'm seeing already. It's not the most durable of shoe. It's not that versatile really, let's be honest. So I think value for money wise, it's only going to be for those that really want a nice, light, bouncy, super soft shoe. Then you're going to love it. If you like that early stage rocker, and it would be worth justifying that £265. For the rest of you, you're better off getting the Sky Tokyo, maybe some of you the Edge if you prefer that shoe. I do love running in this shoe, so I'm glad I bought it. But for shorter events like a 5K, I'll probably from now on pick the Sky. Maybe 10K this one, or half marathon. I'm not sure about marathon yet. What do I ultimately think it's good for? So it really confuses me, this shoe. I thought because of how light it was, the early stage rocker, and this famed FF Leap foam, this would be a perfect 5K shoe. I'm not finding that. I've had a couple of races now in this. The 10K was better than the 5K that I just ran. The 5K I ran it in 17:51. And that was just the Saturday just gone. The week before I ran, and arguably I should have been more tired the week before because I've had less chance to get over the marathon. I did it in the Sky and ran 17:21. So, you know, a 30-second difference, quite substantial in a 5K. And it felt a little bit harder work in this shoe than it did with the Sky. Got some really nice spring forward in this shoe, really nice toe spring. That makes me think, for me, this could be one of my 5K shoes of choice. I could really pick up my cadence in this shoe, lengthen my stride and just go for it. When I tried to do that in this shoe, it allowed me to do it, don't get me wrong, but I felt a little bit of sinkage every time I landed with force. And that's no good for getting that quick compression, decompression, and throwing you forward very quickly. I don't get the same in this shoe, or the same kind of toe spring in this shoe that I do in the Sky Tokyo. So for me, it's not going to be as good for short distances, but I do feel like this could be a really good half marathon shoe. I think if you just want a shoe that you're just going to set a pace and cruise along with it nice and bouncy and light, and you've got long straights and you haven't got too many corners where you're going like this and you're having to deal with this soft foam, I think this is going to be a really good shoe. For courses that are straight but with hills, again, a really good shoe because of how light it is. So I think half marathon is its sweet spot. I think for those of you that can handle landing up here for the entirety of the marathon, and I did that in New York, so maybe these would have been a good pick for that as well. You have to be on really good form, but for those of you that can do that, I think this would also be an awesome marathon shoe.